Thank you. Thank you very much for coming out today, for being part of this. I love all candidates forums. I love the opportunity. I'm glad that the questions were sourced from interested parties within the community. The number one job, as far as I'm concerned, of any member of Parliament is to listen, to genuinely listen to what the concerns are of the people that they want to or do represent. So I always enjoy these opportunities to be here to listen to what it is that is important to you, and always encouraged to discover that it is the same things that are important to me. So, as I said, I grew up in Delta. This is my home, and I want to make sure that 100 years from now, people living in Delta can enjoy the same happy, productive lifestyle that I got to enjoy while I was growing up. And so I ask you again, to think not just about now when you're casting your vote on October 19th. Don't just think about what you want and what's best for you. Think about what's best for generations to come. Because that's the decision we're making. We are deciding what kind of Canada, what kind of Delta we want to give. We want to be our legacy to those future generations. I know what that means to me. That means putting away these divisive and negative politics. It means making sure that the government is there for the people. And it means voting for an NDP government on October 19th. So please, I encourage all of you, cast your ballot for hope and optimism. Cast your ballot for me on October 19th. Thank you.
Some of you may have seen me nodding in agreement sometimes when Jeremy's talking, because we are on the same side of some of the issues. But I do have to stick this knife in. When we're talking about Kinder Morgan, Mr. Mulcair is being very mysterious about how he feels about Kinder Morgan. And so there's a very good chance that if you have an NDP member of Parliament here, he's going to be whipped to vote for Kinder Morgan. So because Thomas Mulcair has to worry about Bay Street, Wall Street, and all his cronies. So if you want a pit bull in Ottawa that's there to represent Delta 100%, then you need a Green Party member of Parliament.
We know this election is about the choice of who has the right plan for Delta and for Canada. And as your member of Parliament, I will certainly continue my record of working diligently for the interests of our community and addressing the needs and concerns of the residents. I have a door that's open to people of all different points of view, some who voted for me, some who didn't last time, and been open and willing to hear what you have to say and advocate on your behalf. Certainly our government and our Conservative team, we see ourselves always as working for Canadians and Canadian families, Canadian taxpayers, by lowering taxes, by delivering benefits for families, by keeping our country secure and creating jobs and economic growth, because that country we want to hand on to our children and our grandchildren. We want this country to continue to be the most admired country in the world, as it is now. And we want to do that through a vision we have and working toward it. And it is hard work. But I want to say something, and we've talked a lot here about the environment and external things. We haven't talked a lot about the people who live here in Delta, who work here, who live here, who play here. And as an example of people who love the earth and who till the soil every day are our multi-generational farmers, most of whom couldn't be here today because they're out on their farms working. And I can tell you, when you see, it's fun to put up ads at election time, but ads on municipal property are ads, signs are ads, ones on private property are endorsements. I have those endorsements. If you look at my signs, they're on the private property of farmers, people who love this community and have lived here for generations. Please consider voting for me.
Well, that was actually going to be what I said. I just wanted to explain to people why I haven't stood up this debate is because of my disability, because I'm legally blind, I can't read my notes from high up, so it's not out of disrespect. So I want to make that abundantly clear. And I want to thank you for having me here today. We all know that we need change in our federal government. And I think the Conservative government has failed the people of Canada, and I think it's failed the people of Delta. We must strive for better, not just different. Who will be your best representative in Ottawa? Who do you want to have in your corner? I urge you to not look only at the leaders and the party platforms because they're important, but I also want you to look at the local candidates. I have a what an emphasis, sorry. I have a combination of passion and experience that will serve this community well as MP. I've spent my life advocating for people. I've led consultations, organizations, and movements. One of my more proud moments as a person with a disability was when I received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012 for representing and advocating for people with disabilities in Canada. I've worked with all levels of government, the nonprofit sector, and the business community. I've worked on the Hill and know the difference that an effective MP can make for his or her community. We have just over 3 weeks to go. The winds of change are blowing. Canadians have had enough. To get to the change that we want and deserve, we must be thoughtful because this election matters. So much is at stake for the country and for Delta. Every single vote makes a difference, and I ask you for your support and vote on October 19th. Thank you.